Hey everybody, it's Stephanie from the Fit RV.
And James.
And we just got back from a trip to Tucson, Arizona, which is, how far of a drive was that?
It's like 13 hours each way.
Yeah, we were there for an RV event. And we only had 4 days though, so.
It's a lot of driving.
It was a lot of driving. We got home, my hips were feeling it, which is what made me want to create this video today.
And she told me I had to be a fitness model.
Yes, and you're going to do a great job. So today we're here to show you some exercises to keep your hips nice and healthy. You ready to try some exercises?
All right, let's get this over with.
All right, let's go. Okay, but before we start with the exercises, let's go over all the different ways that your hips can move.
Okay.
So there's really 6 patterns of movement you can do with your hip joint. That is flexion and extension. You know what that is?
This.
Yep, so that's forward and back.
Okay.
You're flexing the front of your hip, and now you're extending, just like that.
Got
okay.
it.
And then there's, another way?
I didn't realize this was going to be a quiz.
Oh, come on, think about it.
So there, this
Yeah,
way.
sideways.
Okay.
So that's abduction is out and
adduction.
adduction coming in.
Got
right.
it.
And then there's one more way. You know the last way that our hips can move? Yes, rotation.
All right.
Internal and external rotation. So that's the 6 ways your hips can move. So we want to make sure when we do exercises for our hips that we're hitting all of those different directions.
Okay.
So let's go into those exercises now.
All right.
Okay, so let's start by warming up our hips. So we're going to work your whole pelvic girdle, and I want to just do some hip rolls. So I want you to move like this. Move your hips around.
I don't move like that.
Just try. You're making a circle with your hips. And you're going to be at home doing these alone. I'm not asking you to go out in the middle of your street and do this in front of the whole neighborhood. Now, let's work on this.
I need a mustache.
Stop your upper body.
Did somebody call a plumber?
Try this. Hold your upper body and then make the circle with your hips.
No, you're on your own. No, sorry.
Wait. So to keep James from being any more obnoxious, I've put him on a ball and he's demonstrating the hip roll that you can do on a therapy ball if you have one. And I'm going to demonstrate it standing. So again, you really do want to keep your upper body still on these as you're circling your hips around.
Do I have to do that?
No,
okay.
You don't have to. You can, on the ball, you don't have to have your hands up.
Okay.
But the hands up is just to remind you to separate out your hips.
This is still not the coolest thing I've ever done.
Well, but it is a really cool exercise because it is strengthening and it's stretching through your hips, through all the muscles that attach in your pelvic girdle. So let's do some other exercises.
All right, let's.
Okay. All right, a great way to stretch your hips after a long drive is just doing a basic lunge. So let's start by holding onto the mirror, and then you're just going to take a step back, and then you're going to bring your foot up. Now, I can't stress enough how important it is to keep your weight on your planted leg. I work with people all the time when I tell them to do a lunge back. They end up stepping back and then stepping forward, and that's a different thing. So we're just tapping back and coming up.
Can I not hold on if I don't need to?
Yeah, you don't have to hold on.
Okay.
But there's 2 great things happening here. One is we're stretching out your hip flexor muscles right in the front where when we've been sitting all day, we get nice and tight right there, and so this helps that. The other thing is we are strengthening through the planted leg. So lunges are great for stretching and strengthening.
They should stay upright, right? They shouldn't lean forward when they're doing this.
Oh, it's nice having you join me on these videos to remind of good posture like that. Definitely. Now, if this starts feeling too hard for you, an easier version is just to tap your straight foot back and then bring it forward. So it's just a little less taxing, but for people who are inflexible,
you can still get a stretch.
Yeah. You definitely still get a stretch. So lunge backs or just a mini modified lunge back.
We should do each leg too, right?
10 on each leg would be great.
Okay.
All right, next exercise.
Next.
Okay, what James is doing here is called a giant walk. It's basically like imagining there's a big puddle in front of you and you're stepping over the puddle. This is a great exercise for your hips because again, we're strengthening and we're stretching those hips out. And you can turn around and go the other way. And there's another way to do this one. Turn this into a lunge walk.
Okay.
So now this is a much deeper way to stretch and strengthen.
This is
through
really
your hips.
hitting the hip flexor. That's
Yeah. Well, you don't have to go that deep into it. So you can do like a half lunge walk. Slow it up a little bit. So again, this is another way to both stretch and strengthen through your hip flexors, and it's also your hip extensors too. All right. Thanks for being a good demonstrator. Okay, we're going to switch gears a little bit and go into a stretch for your abductor muscles, the muscles that move your hip outward. To stretch them out, though, you want to do the opposing motion.
Okay.
So start by standing sideways to a wall, and you're going to take your outer leg and cross it back, holding onto the wall for balance. Good posture, nice and tight in your core. Now you're going to bring your upper hand up, and you're going to drive your hip away from the wall. So you want this motion to come from your hips more than your spine. Your thoracic spine is going to have to bend a little too, but you want to hold your core tight enough that you're protecting your back when you do this motion.
I see what you mean about sticking your hips out, because I could just do this whole thing without moving my hips at all, right? And
right, yeah.
You're trying to stretch your hips, so you actually have to kind of push out with your hip a little bit.
Yeah, good observation. You really do have to focus on this exercise to get the most out of your stretch. So you want to push yourself until you feel that stretch. And you're also stretching all the way up through your side. You're going to feel it in your chest and your lats and even up into your arm. So you're not just stretching your hip, it's a good stretch for all your side.
Your whole side.
Your whole side.
All right.
All right, moving on.
Okay.
Okay, so we just stretched your abductors, but now the insides of your legs is your adductor muscles.
I am dubious about this stretch.
Well, no, a great way to do this stretch is just simply doing a side lunge. So you're just going to step out at a diagonal, knee comes over your toe, and then step back together.
That's not so bad.
No, you're getting the stretch on the planted leg, but you're also strengthening the moving leg. So again, it's bonus, two different things. You're stretching and you're strengthening. So this is another exercise that should definitely be in your repertoire.
And we do this on each side too, right?
Each side and about 10 of them.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we found some mats and we are down on the floor because we want to work your internal and external rotation now. So you're going to lie down on your back.
I can do that.
You're going to take one leg out straight, the other leg is going to be bent up, and then you're going to take that knee out to the side, just like that. So take your foot, so your legs are open up, your hips are open. And then you're going to put your head down, and you're just going to rock. You're going to rotate your hip joint in and out as far as your range can go.
I'm not so crazy about the outside, but the inside feels pretty good.
Does it? Yeah, everybody experiences this different depending on what muscles are sore. Now, you can also deepen this stretch at either end.
It's almost like a piriformis.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, piriformis is one of your deep glute muscles. So to deepen the stretch, you can pull your knee down, and then when it crosses back over, you can give yourself a little push in. So, or you can even have a friend help you if you have somebody that you trust.
Why,
not to
hello.
overstretch.
Would you like some help with that stretch?
I think I'm okay. Thank you.
Did someone call a plumber?
So that's internal, external rotation of your hip joint. So we've basically worked your hip in all the 6 different movement planes. How do you feel after all those exercises we've done?
Actually, I feel pretty good.
Yeah, it is a good feeling once you get your hips all loosened up and warm. And it's really important, especially as RVers, that we are doing these exercises.
Yeah, if you're sitting driving, you'll appreciate this when you're done.
So that's it from the Fit RV. Hope you're all out having wonderful adventures, and we'll see you on the road.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow, chicka, bow, chicka, bow, bow, chicka,